name is Berta Lippert. If you're new to me, I'm from bertalippert.com, and I'm a Mayo Clinic trained and certified wellness coach, and I specialize in helping people institute change in their lives so they can live happy and healthy lifestyles full of purpose and meaning. And today what I want to talk to you about is something that is super important to your overall wellness, and it may be something you don't think about, but it is something that is just as important as eating right, as avoiding tobacco use, as exercising, getting enough sleep, and what it is connection. Social relationships, basically our connections that we have with other people. It's super important to our overall wellness. I wanted to share with you some information that I had read. There was a Meta-Analytic Review that was done. What that is basically there's a bunch of studies and somebody gets together and they review all these and make correlations between the studies. So there were 3 people involved in this one that I read. Juliana Holt Lundstedt and Timothy Smith are both professors at Brigham Young University, and J. Bradley Layton is from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And what these 3 folks did is they pulled together 148 studies that included over 300,000 people, and they wanted to see what the correlation was between mortality rates and people who had really strong social relationships with those who didn't. What they found is that we have a 50% chance of living longer if we do have these relationships. It is that important. That's huge. It reminded me of the studies that were done that you've probably heard about too, about infants that were in orphanages and the really high mortality rate when the infants didn't have that human interaction and that connection and that touch that we're just wired for. That's basically how we're made. And once that research was released and people realized the importance of that, protocols changed. And that was the good thing that came out of that research. Practices and protocols changed, and now that mortality rate has dropped dramatically for those infants in those situations. And it kind of reminds me of this though too, you know, the importance of these social relationships that we have. What I want to share with you today is the benefits to these relationships, and then I'm going to give you 3 steps that I want you to take to make sure you cultivate these relationships that we can reap all the benefits, okay, for this. But I want to encourage you to not only use this for yourself, but you might be like me and you might be someone who's caring for an aging parent as well. So this information will be really important and fantastic to share with them as well. So basically the benefits, okay? What are the benefits to having these social relationships and these connections that we have with each other? There's a lot of information that are just like short-term health benefits, like just avoiding colds and flus, but they've also been shown to have an increase, you know, for those of us that have those relationships, an increase in mental sharpness, an increase in positive emotions, reduced stress, and just simply living longer like this review had shown. So there's tons of benefits to having a social relationship. So how do we do it? 3 things that I want you to do. Number 1 is I need you to be aware of it. Simply be aware of the fact how easy it might be for us to get ourselves in a situation where we kind of feel socially isolated. You know, we no longer live in extended families like we used to. In fact, there's somebody that you probably love that lives really far away. We can be scattered all over the place. People are delaying getting married and having children later in life, and more people are living alone now than ever before in history. So it's just these things that where you can get yourself to feel like you don't even have that one really strong relationship. You might have a bunch of acquaintances, and there might be people you work with or something like that, but we don't want to get you to where you feel that way, where you don't feel like you really even have, again, that one really solid relationship. Because studies have also shown that it only takes that one. And that can be with a pet too. And I know that might seem silly, but that's a way that you could cultivate, you know, relationships and really being in a situation where you have those strong connections with people, and it can be for other, you know, like animals or something like that that you care about as well. So I don't even think I need to sell you on that. If anybody's out there is a pet lover or an animal lover like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so that was be step number 1, is just simply be aware of it. Number 2 is I want you to figure out ways that you can actually cultivate these relationships. There's lots of different ways that you can do it. You can certainly use technology in your favor, like what we're doing right now. I have made so many great connections with so many great people simply because of the online communities that we might be a part of. Maybe there is an organization that you would love to volunteer with. You know, we just were talking about animals or whatever it might be. Maybe there's a club that you could be a part of. Maybe you would like to be part of a book club or a quilters club or something like that that you have a passion for. Gyms or fitness centers, you can make a lot of great connections there. A church might be a great way, you know, a place that you can make some connections. Lots of different ways. You know, community ed classes, I know I've done that and they've been fun. Go take a cooking class and meet some people and create those social interactions. So I want you to come up with 5 ways that you can create social interactions. And then step number 3, what I want you to do is to take action. Now, I know it may feel uncomfortable to kind of put yourself out there and put yourself in social situations where you don't know anyone, but I really want to encourage you to do it because I've just told you all the benefits and actually living longer even as a result of that. So we want to make sure that you take action. So 3 things I want you to do. Number 1, just be aware of what can happen, how easily we could actually get ourselves in a situation where we are feeling kind of socially isolated. Number 2, I want you to come up with 5 ways that you can cultivate those social relationships with other people. And then number 3, I want you to take action, put yourself out there, and start interacting with people. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And again, I'm going to put a link below if you would like to see the research that I was sharing with you earlier. And as always, I'm going to wrap things up by inviting you to be part of my VIP list. So if you head on over to bertavip.com, it's free, and you can sign up. If you like information like this, once a month I will send an email right to your inbox with some information on how to live a happy and healthy lifestyle full of purpose and meaning. So thank you so much for letting me share this with you, and I will see you next time.